Good morning, everyone. I am Riami Sitisabella, a reporter from Chapter 9 with the topic of soil and its issues. For the first topic, the study of soil as a science. This PowerPoint will cover the following objectives: recognize soil as an important resource, describe basic soil properties and formation factors, determine basic properties of soil and limitations such as molting, and permeability by observing a soil pit or soil profile. Why study soil? The slide titled Why Study Soil outlines several compelling reasons for understanding soil. First is medium of crop production. Soil is the foundation for agriculture, supporting the growth of plants that feed humans and animals. Second is water and wastes. It acts as natural filtration system, purifying water and breaking down contaminants. Third is producer and absorber of gases. Soil plays a key role in the carbon and nitrogen cycle by exchanging gases like CO2, CH4, and N2O with the atmosphere. Fourth, home to organisms. It hosts a complex ecosystem of bacteria, fungi, insects, and other organisms essential for nutrient cycle and soil structure. Fifth, medium for plant growth. Beyond crops, soil is critical for growth of all terrestrial plants, influencing biodiversity and ecosystem health. 6. Waste decomposer microbes in the soil break down organic. 6. Waste decomposer. Microbes in the soil break down organic matter and pollutants, aiding in waste decomposition. 7th. Source material for construction, art, medicine, etc. Soils provide raw materials like clay, minerals, and even compounds used in pharmaceuticals. 8. Snapshots of geological, climatic, biological, and human history. Soil layers can reveal information about past climates, vegetation, and human activity, essentially acting like a historical archive. Last is essential natural resource. It interprets food security, water quality, and climate regulation, making it indispensable for sustainable living. Nature and function of soil. Soil, the unconsolidated cover of earth, made up of mineral and organic components, water and air, and capable of supporting plant growth. Most important function is to grow plants. Next is photosynthesis. Plant ability to combine CO2 and H2O from the ground into sugar. Light furnishes the energy for this reaction. Nitrogen, sulfur, and phosphorus are required for synthesis of plants' protein too. Nature and function of soil. Soil is the loose, unconsolidated material that covers much of the Earth's surface. It's composed of mineral particles, organic matter, water, and air. This complex mixture forms over time through the withering of rocks and decomposition of organic material. It is one of the most vital natural resources on Earth, essential for life as we know it. The primary function of soil is to support plant growth. It does, it does this in several ways. First is anchorage. Soil provides a physical medium for roots to anchor plants firmly in place. Second is nutrient supply. It supplies essential nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur, which plants need to build proteins and other key molecules. Third is water retention and supply. Soil holds water that plants absorb through their roots. Fourth is air exchange. Soil allows for gas exchange, providing oxygen to plants, roots, and releasing carbon dioxide. The pore space between the solids is taken up by water and air. Air takes up part of the pore space not occupied by water. As the water increases, the air content decreases. In respiration, opposite of photosynthesis, plant roots use oxygen and give off carbon dioxide. So, soil usually contains less oxygen and more carbon dioxide than atmospheric air does. Millions of microbes live in each ounce of fertile soil. Without them, soils would become inactive and lose their ability to support plants. Physical properties of soil. Soil consists of solid, liquid, gaseous, and biotic components. Sand and silt are merely broken down rock frags, consist of quartz, feldspar, mica, and other minerals. Chemically, they are essentially inert compared with clay and organic matter, which are responsible for most of the chemical reactions in the soil. As for the discussion, soils are complex systems made up of four main components: solid, such as minerals and organic matter; liquid, water; gaseous, air; and biotic, living organisms. Each of these plays a vital role in supporting plant growth, water filtration, and ecological balance. Sand and silt, though they form a major part of the soil's solid phase, they are primarily physical contributors. They are fragments of rock, typically composed of minerals like quartz, feldspar, and mica. These particles are chemically stable, meaning they do not readily participate in chemical reactions. Their role is more about providing structure and drainage. For example, sandy soils are known for their loose and texture and fast water percolation, while silt contributes to soil fertility and water retention. In contrast, clay particles and organic matter are highly reactive chemical. Clay have a large surface area and carry negative charges, which allow them to hold onto nutrients like calcium, potassium, and magnesium. Through cation exchange, organic matter, including decomposed plant material and microbial biomass, contributes to the soil's nutrients, content, and buffering capacity, helping regulate pH and improve soil structure. Overall, while sand and silt provide the physical framework of the soil, it's the clay and organic components that drives most of the chemical processes essential for plants and nutrition and soil health. The biotic component, including bacteria, fungi, and earthworms, also interact closely with organic matter and minerals, further influencing soil chemistry and structure. Clay particles are plastic and sticky when wet. They are highly absorptive of water, gas, and dissolved substances. Clays are minute flat, E-shaped aluminum 8 crystals consisting of silicon, aluminum, iron, magnesium, oxygen, and hydrogen. There are several types of clay. Two of the most important ones are kaolinite and smectite. Smectite clays have the ability to swell on wetting and shrink when dry. Smectite enters chem ranks more than kaolinitic clays. Clay is a negatively charged colloid. This negative charge is the reason that positively charged cations surround each clay particle. The individual cations can be exchanged for each other. If the cations can get close to the surface of the clay, the negative charge on the clay is largely neutralized and the clay particles will cling together or flocculated. Calcium and magnesium dominate in this area. They are small and effective in holding clay particles together. Soil texture. Texture, relative proportion of the various grain sizes in a soil. To describe soil texture, names such as loamy sand, silt loam, clay loam, and silty clay are used. The best soils are generally those which contain 10 to 20% clay with silt and sand in approximately equal amounts, and a fair amount of organic matter. The content of sand, silt, and clay for the 12 main soil texture classes can be found on this triangle. Example, point A is the sandy loam texture class with 65% sand, 25% silt, and 10% clay. Note that soils with relatively small clay contents are less than 40 are in the clay texture class because the properties of clay readily predominate over the coarser fractions. Surface area. In comparing clay with sand and silt, it is important to be aware of the relative amount of surface area of this particle size group because it is on the surface that many chemical and physical processes takes place. Smaller is more surface area or clay is tiny. Soil structure. Structure is an arrangement of individual particles in relation to each other. Soil structure is the arrangement of particles into small groups or aggregates. Aggregates may be bound together with other aggregates in larger masses called beds. Beds come in different shapes that roughly resemble sphere, blocks, columns, and plates. If the individual particles are arranged in small aggregates with rounded edges, we speak granular structures. This is very desirable for plant growth because it provides both large and small pores. Some soils lack structure. Sandy soils and individual grains act independently of each other. No binding substances holds the particles together, so the soil has no beds. Pore space. Large pores are readily drained of water and filled by air after a heavy rain. They are valuable as an aeration system. Small pores hold water against gravity and pull water up from a water table by capillary action. They are necessary for the water supply of plants. Ideal structure includes large and small pores in proportion that corresponds to the water or air needs of the crop plants given for that culture or climate. Soil temperature. Just as important to plant growth as the air temperature, the temperature of surface soil fluctuates greatly both during a 24-hour period and the seasons. Where soil is covered by a dense growth of plants or a thick layer of mulch, temperature variations are much less severe and do not penetrate deeply. Soil temperature has a direct effect on plant growth and also influences microbial activity. Freezing and thawing of the soil water also affects soil structures. Slow and occasional freezing and thawing, like under mulch, is beneficial for soil structure. Soil color. Color of soils tells us much more about some of its other properties. The color of a surface soil horizon depends mainly on its organic matter content. The darker the soil, the more organic matter it contains. This organic matter imparts favorable properties to the soil, such as better aggregation and high water holding capacity. Also, dark soil absorbs more radiation during day and radiates more heat during the night. In subsoil horizons, soil color indicates the wetness and aeration conditions of the soil. In general, reddish and brownish subsoils indicates good aeration and little water logging. You see the iron red. Grayish and olive colors indicate much water logging and a chemical reduction of iron. A mottled subsoil, one with a splotchy pattern of brownish and grayish colors, is indicative of a fluctuation or fluctuating groundwater table. Munsell color system. Define colors in terms of hue, value, and chroma. Hue was defined as the actual color, red, blue, green, etc. Value is defined as how light or dark a color is. Chroma was defined as how strong or weak a color is. Soil scientists use Munsell color book to determine the color of the soil to help determine in what type of soil it is along with using texture.